So the other thing that I want you to understand is, just like we studied with the arterial blood supply, the azygous vein and the accessory hemiazygous vein and the hemiazygous vein at each level on their respective sides provide intercostal veins, as we can see right over here and on this side. Okay? So all three of these, they supply intercostal veins. So to summarize, what we learned here is that we have the superior vena cava and we have the inferior vena cava. Both of these drain into the right atrium of the heart. Okay? Now the superior vena cava, it divides into the left brachiocephalic vein right over here, and the right brachiocephalic vein right over here. Okay? Now the left and the right brachiocephalic vein, although I didn't tell you, but I'll tell you right now. So this is the subclavian vein on each side. So this is also the subclavian. And these are the internal jugular veins. So let's start our review again. What we want to understand, what we want to memorize here, is that the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava drain into the right atrium of the heart. The superior vena cava bifurcates and divides into the left and right brachiocephalic veins. So this is the left and the right brachiocephalic veins. Now the left and right brachiocephalic veins further divide into the subclavian veins and the internal jugular veins. The internal jugular veins pass on into the neck, and the subclavian veins pass on towards the axilla into the upper limbs. Left and right brachiocephalic veins also give off the internal thoracic veins. As you can see, these veins over here, passing right behind the rib cage, parallel to the sternum. They also participate in giving intercostal veins, as you can see here. Okay? Now, on the posterior aspect near the vertebral column, we can see a big vein on the right side called the azygous vein. The azygous vein, it drains into the superior vena cava at the top. And the azygous vein also starts from the abdominal aorta. As you can see, here is where it drains into the superior vena cava. The accessory hemiazygous vein and the hemiazygous vein, sorry, I should be using green for this. The accessory hemiazygous vein and the hemiazygous vein, they both drain into the azygous vein at these levels. So the accessory hemiazygous vein drains at the level of T7, and the hemiazygous vein drains into the azygous vein at the level of T8. In the future lecture, you'll learn that at the sternal angle, right over here, this is the level of T4 and T5. So the intervertebral disc between level T4 and T5. So here's T4 and here is T5. This is also called the sternal angle. So this is the level at which the azygous vein drains into the superior vena cava. Okay? And each of these three veins, the accessory vein, the azygous vein, and the hemiazygous vein, they all pass down on their left and right sides, depending on what side it is. So the azygous vein on the right side, and the hemiazygous and the accessory hemiazygous vein give intercostal vessels to the intercostal spaces. So they supply the skeleton and the thoracic wall, all of the muscles inside. There you have it. That's the venous supply of the thorax. So let's talk about the special structures like the heart and the lungs now. So where do they get their venous supply from? The coronary veins drain into the coronary sinus. So they start, remember I told you, they start in the viscera. So let's go to the picture of the heart for this. So remember what I told you, that in the systemic circulation, the veins always begin in the viscera and they end in the heart. So all of the veins, they begin inside the viscera, and you can't really see in this image, but on the back, you will be able to see. Okay, so here's a picture of the posterior inferior side of the heart. You can see here we have the inferior vena cava. So let's change the pen color. This is the inferior vena cava. And this is the base of the heart. So what we're concerned with right now is this is the coronary sinus. The coronary sinus drains directly into the inferior vena cava. There's an opening over here. All of the veins of the heart, they drain into the coronary sinus, and then the coronary sinus drains into the inferior vena cava, and the inferior vena cava drains into the right atrium. So let's write that down for you. Inferior vena cava, coronary sinus, veins of the heart. Well, that's the venous supply of the heart. And the bronchial veins, well, let's move back to the previous diagram for that. So the right bronchial vein, it drains into the azygous vein. And the left bronchial vein drains into the accessory hemiazygous vein. So that's it for the venous supply of the thorax and all of its contents. Let's move on to the nervous supply.